It's February and Arsenal are still in with a chance of the quadruple. Can Mikel Arteta's side make the first step and reach the Carabao Cup final tonight? What a game in store tonight. Arsenal looking to reach a first final in 6 years when they host Chelsea in the second leg of the Carabao Cup semi-finals. They lead 3-2 but could have been in a much more comfortable position after letting Alejandro Garnacho score a late goal to keep their London rivals in the tie. Ahead of the game, Mikel Arteta has hit back at Paul Scholes, who said Arsenal would be the most boring team to win the league if they do go on to become champions. Well, Arteta disagrees.
I heard completely the opposite. All around Europe, that we are the most exciting team in Europe, the most goals, the most clean sheets, the most this. So maybe I have a different resources.
Why do you think this is? Why do you think people are saying this?
I have no idea. I don't know which people. You tell me the names and the surname and the address and the email. Maybe we can talk. But we are talking because I can give you a massive book of all the people. So.
Mr. Paul Scholes of Manchester.
Sorry?
Mr. Paul Scholes of Manchester.
Okay, good.
Lovely.
OK, Leanne's here until midday. Arsenal, exciting or boring?
I mean, obviously, back in the day, it's boring Arsenal, isn't it? It's a chant they sing, but I don't think it's boring. I mean, it's almost like damned if they do, damned if they don't, Tom, because it's like, you know, beginning up until a couple of months ago, they were absolutely flying, right? And then not greatest results. The Liverpool game at home, quite boring. The Forest game, quite boring. But the game at the weekend against Leeds, what a performance that was. People are looking for that bounce back ability from Arsenal, would they have it in them? Going to Ellen Road and winning in the way that they did, it was a complete annihilation. It's a difficult place to go. And I think Arsenal are doing bits. Now, the Premier League hasn't been great this year, Tom. Let's be honest, right? The teams, the performances, but that's not Arsenal's fault. Similar to when Liverpool won it during COVID and everyone's saying, oh, it doesn't mean as much because it's during COVID. Winning the Premier League is iconic. And if Arsenal, they've given... The fact that City let Tottenham come back into that game at the weekend and it's now gone back to 6 points, like, there's no many more slip-ups for Arsenal. It can't keep happening. There's still a long way to go, but, like, you know, it's almost like City are gifting them the Premier League. And I like Mikel Arteta. I think he has to deliver this season, though, a trophy. I'm not talking coming second and almost nearly, you know, going on the pitch saying, oh, it's next year's our year, doing all documentaries and stuff. They have to get it done.
Well, can they get it done tonight? Because they won the FA Cup 6 years ago.
When he first got there?
Yeah, when he first got there. They've been in 4 semi-finals since then, and they've never made it through to a final since then. So is tonight a big mental hurdle to get over and get to the final?
It should have been signed, sealed, delivered already, though, Tom. The fact they let Chelsea come back into the game, that game should have been 4-0 to Arsenal. They were all over Chelsea in that game. But I expect Arsenal to win this one. Not as comfortable as they'd have liked going into it, obviously, with it being 3-2. But I think, you know, Arsenal are a top side. Yes, people can say set-piece FC, who cares? Those fine margins, those small percentages. Everyone was laughing when they got a set-piece coach. How many teams in the league now have a set-piece coach, Tom? I was one of them. I'm like, set-piece coach? There's now a bus for staff members at all the Premier League clubs. You know, there's a bus for the players and there's a bus for all the staff. But you've got to do what you've got to do to win, and those small little details, small percentages in football, professional sports, it makes a difference.
The fact is, it's working. Well, Sky Sports are partnered with Finalysis to discover true fan opinion. To have your say on your club, download the Finalysis app now. Scan the QR code here for more details. Let's speak to Arsenal fan Tia Thorne and Chelsea fan Charlie Patrick. Good morning to both of you. Tia, we will start with you. Arteta saying that Arsenal are the most exciting team rather than the most boring team. Do you agree?
Good morning. Leanne, I think you summed it up perfectly. I wouldn't probably say that we're not boring. I think this tag of being boring is just a bit ridiculous now. I think what Arteta is also looking at is, particularly in the Champions League, I think we've been probably the best team, if not the most exciting team as well. In the league, obviously, maybe some games the handbrake has been put on, but I wouldn't sit and say we're boring. I think that sort of tag's a bit ridiculous, but I wouldn't say the most boring, no.
Can I just jump in quickly with Tia? I go to a lot of the games at the Emirates and I love going there, and I'm a United fan, but like, there's a sense of energy around the Emirates, isn't there, Tia, where like the groaning, I don't think it's the boos, it's like every time a player mistimes a pass, you can feel it, can't you? And I think that's something that fans have to be mindful of, because they are going to have that nervous energy, aren't they? But they need to kind of help them get it over the line.
I 100% agree with you, and I think that's why as well, like with tonight's game actually being at the Emirates, I don't I'm not a fan of, especially given it's only a 1-goal deficit when it should be more, as you mentioned. It's like, I understand that, you know, I think it was maybe the Man United game a couple of weeks ago that some of the moaning... nice. I had to throw it in for you. But I do think, like, some of the moaning and groaning I think is a bit ridiculous. You know, like, Arsenal are a team that, when we're playing, we are, you know, we're passing around the back, going sideways a little bit. We have, like, some fans don't understand. You need to be patient with that, because you need to wait for that moment of magic, which comes because teams don't expect it and you get a goal. And I think a lot of the crowds, especially at the Emirates, there's a sense of nervousness because we're in such a great position to win it, and we probably do need to win it this year because it's been too many of nearly moments. It needs to be a now moment. We need to get it over the line. But I do think that a lot of the crowd, they need to, you know, I think it was the 22-23 season, you know, we conceded a goal. The crowd was straight on the players' backs going, come on then, let's get the goal. It seems to be moaning and groaning and not very happy when we're passing backwards. And it's like, that's how, you know, some teams come to Arsenal and they do set up that, you know, stereotypical deep block. We have to be patient to get through. And I think most of the crowd need to just relax because the coach knows what he's doing. And I do think the players know what they're doing.
Charlie, can you turn this tie around tonight?
Yeah, we've definitely got the potential to do it. You know, we should be done. We should be finished. That first leg, I don't know how we only managed to leave there with a 1-goal deficit. So, you know, there's always a chance. And we've shown in previous games, West Ham, Napoli, that we can produce results coming from behind. Admittedly, Arsenal are probably better than both of those sides, but there is that, you know, that fight, that desire, you know, that drive from the players that we can get back into games from a deficit. I think the most important thing is that we've got to score the first goal. If we don't score the first goal, I think it's probably finished for us. You know, going to need 2 just to get to extra time is going to be a problem. So we need to play on the front foot, but we also need to be mindful not to be too gung-ho from the off, because I said if one goes in, then we are in trouble. But there's also the possibility of extra time and penalties as well. So I mean, look, I would take getting to that as a chance to go through. But yeah, you've got to believe there's definitely some hope for sure.
I know what's more important to the board, but what's more important to the fans? Finishing in the top 4 or winning this cup?
Well, I mean, for me, Chelsea have got to be in the Champions League, but as a fan, it's that you don't celebrate finishing in the top 4. You celebrate the days out of Wembley and winning the trophy. So I'd personally rather have the trophy from my perspective, but from a club perspective, the Champions League and the money it brings and being in that competition is way more important than the League Cup.
Yeah, Tia, in terms of these semi-finals, we've just been talking about you've been in 4 semi-finals since you won the FA Cup and haven't been able to get over the hurdle of getting into the final. Is that a mentality issue? Is it just bad luck?
I think it's probably more leans towards, you know, sort of having this sort of mental block maybe. It's a weird one. I don't know why, you know, we went to Newcastle last year in the semi-final of this competition and we didn't score a single goal. Played Villarreal in the Champions League, in the Europa League, semi-finals, didn't score a goal. Obviously against PSG we got one back. But I think I'm hoping there's a little bit of positivity because we've managed to score 3 goals in the first leg of a semi-final. So I'm hoping that hopefully means we get to the final. But I think us getting through tonight again would be a huge mentality switch as well. I think that will also massively help us push on to win the league. So I'm hoping that, you know, I'm hoping it is a little bit of bad luck, not a mental thing, because I think we need to get past that now. I think this squad's good enough to go and win.
Weekend, but Stefano speaking about Victor Gyökeres. Actually, Tony, let me come to you first because Tony came into the meeting this morning. He goes, is it true that Victor Gyökeres has only scored 11 goals this season? And that was something that surprised you, Tony.
Yeah, because I feel like, and it's probably the other things that Mikel Arteta keeps talking about that Victor Gyökeres does for that side. I feel like he had more goals, but certainly I know it's probably whatever, like most strikers, whatever number of goals you have, you always want a little bit more, right? You're always looking for more. Took him a little bit to settle in, I think, to the group. But I still think, and we're always going to judge number 9s by the numbers, right? But I still think there's been so many other things that he's done for the side. I go to the Atletico Madrid game, right? Against Atleti, he scores 2 goals in that Champions League game, but he also has an assist in that game. His hold-up play was really, really good. And I think that's what Mikel Arteta was talking about for weeks. But as I mentioned, in the end, when we look at somebody's career, when we look at the end of the season, goal scorers will always be judged judged by the numbers, because that's just what world football tells you is the barometer of whether you're good or you're not good, or you're fit into a team or not.
Don't you find it pretty incredible, though, that this Arsenal team doesn't have one superstar that's carrying the load? It's like everybody. It's pretty incredible that they're able to be this good, and it's like sharing the spoils, everybody on the team.
Yeah, there's no talisman. I would say that they're the player that dominates a game for them is on the back line in Gabriel, because there is no talisman in this team, and you see it by just the stats where the top scorer has 6 goals in Victor Gyökeres in the Premier League.
Right. Even like Bukayo Saka, right? I think we were talking about Arsenal being potential favorites at the beginning of the season. We said, it's going to have to be a crazy season from Bukayo Saka, best player in the league, and he really hasn't been, but Arsenal have been so good.
Bukayo Saka has 4 goals in the Premier League.
That's unbelievable.
And it's what it is. It's Gyökeres with 6. This is all Premier League. Trossard with 5. Declan Rice with 4. Eze with 4. Zubimendi with 4. It's all.
And those 4 goals from Eze have come. 3 of them have come in one game.
In one game, exactly. Yeah, it is interesting. It's definitely a team built a lot differently than any of the past Premier League champions over the last decade.
Should we switch to talking a little bit about Chelsea then, real quick, before we get into the big Carabao Cup match between these two teams? Chelsea, they came back. Incredible match for them, Nico, to come back in this one, unbeaten now in their last 5. How are you feeling about this Chelsea side right now?
Yeah, the only game that they lost was against Arsenal, the first leg of this fixture. There's belief in Liam Rossini, at least from the players, right? And they got that late goal, which made it 3-2. And if there's ever a moment to play Arsenal, there has been a lot of talk about Arsenal wobbling. And every time Arsenal wobbles, like against Manchester United, it feels like there's this pile on. And then, all right, how are they going to react next? And they reacted really well against Leeds. So Chelsea's going to feel like this is an opportunity. It's like, all right, Manchester United did it at their place. We can do it too. It's going to take a lot, because no one wants to be eliminated at this point. You get me? Narratives can start taking shape once you're eliminated from a tournament, although it's a lower tier tournament in the priority list of these teams. Liam Rossini is going to have his face his first elimination, or Arsenal goes out to Liam Rossini's side, So there's more on the line than we might think from the outset, just looking, Carabao Cup semifinals, right?
Without a doubt.
There's still a trophy on the line, right? And we had this discussion the other day. How do you prioritize? I don't know that you prioritize. You get to the game, you put your best players that you have available to you. It'll be important for them, for sure, to put something in the trophy. And I guess we'll talk to Victor Gyökeres here in a little bit, and we'll ask him.
Hello,
Hi, Gary.
Any casualties we don't know about from the weekend?
No, I think you are aware of all of them.
With Bukayo, obviously, bit of a hip issue before kickoff?
Yeah, we have to wait. Today he was better, but we have to wait and see how he responds and then make the decision.
As far as you know, and I'm sure you've asked and you've seen, nothing too serious?
It doesn't look like something too serious. Whether he's going to be available for tomorrow or the weekend, we will see.
And obviously we've got further news now on Mikel Merino, who's going to be out. The club says until, hopefully we'll be training again before the end of the season. Can you be any more specific than that?
Well, we hope so. I don't know, obviously he needs to go through a procedure, which is never obviously positive. He's a big player for us, a player that has such a versatility and capacity to compete in various positions, and that's a big blow.
Is it a fracture?
Yeah.
Obviously, the wording of the statement suggests that there might be a chance of him playing again before the end of the season, and obviously there's the World Cup coming up as well. So those are targets, I guess.
Let's see. It's a very rare injury, so we have to wait and see once we have the surgery how that reacts daily. Obviously, monitor it throughout the weeks post the surgery and see. I know Mikel is going to do absolutely everything that he possibly can to come back as quick as possible, but as well you have to respect the healing process and the fact that obviously it's an injury that is quite rare.
So that serious pain in the foot for that Mikel, is that a pain in the neck for this Mikel?
Yes, and for the team as well, obviously, because he's a big player for us, a very important player for us, and we're not going to have him until probably the end of the season.
Does it change your thinking today before 7 o'clock with the deadline?
Of course, I mean, when you lose a big player like this in the squad with 4 months to go and all the competitions to play for, you need to look, and we need to do everything that we possibly can to see if we have a player that is available, and if we don't, okay, we keep what we have.
But we know, particularly now, with his versatility and his abilities, his importance to the squad, not just any player's going to do it, it's got to be someone really special, right, to come in.
Well, at this level, especially for 4 months, you have to bring a player that has the capacity to adapt immediately and impact the team, and that's not easy. But if it would be easy, we wouldn't be here, so we need to find solutions and try.